Hello, welcome back to JD's Science Prep. Today we are discussing percentage yield calculations. If this video helps, please like and subscribe. So when performing calculations using stoichiometry, the mass found is called the theoretical yield. That's the maximum amount of product that is possible from a reaction. When completing a lab in real life, chemists rarely get the maximum amount of product possible, and this is going to be called the actual yield. So below is the formula to find the percentage yield. So take a look right there. It says percentage yield equals our actual yield, so what is found in the lab, what's found in real life, over the theoretical yield, which is a calculated amount. It is the maximum amount of product that is possible from a reaction. So there are some steps to find percentage yield. Number one, we're going to determine the wanted substance from the question. Number two, balance the chemical equation. Number three, determine the limiting reagent if the question does not give it to you. Number four, determine the theoretical yield of the wanted substance using the limiting reagent. And finally, number five, use the percentage yield formula to solve for the percentage yield. So let's use these rules to go through example number one here. So it says the limiting reagent in the following reaction is 1.56 grams of barium chloride. While completing the lab, we isolate 1.64 grams of silver chloride, which is our wanted product. What is the percentage yield? So a couple things here. We can underline our wanted product, which is silver chloride, found on our product side. And we also know the question is quite friendly to us. We know our limiting reagent, which is 1.56 grams of barium chloride. So step number two, let's balance this chemical reaction. If you do have trouble balancing reactions as we're doing right now, please head on over to my video related to that. That should help you out a little bit. So we have this reaction all balanced. Let's move on to step number three. It says to determine the limiting reagent if the question does not give it to you. Now, because this question is a little bit friendly, we already know our LR, or our limiting reagent. It is barium chloride. So let's move on to number four. It says determine the theoretical yield of the wanted substance using the limiting reagent. So what we're going to do, we are going to take our limiting reagent, which is barium chloride, and we are going to find how much silver chloride 1.56 grams of BaCl2 can make. So we're going to go from grams of barium chloride, which we have, to grams of silver chloride. That's all we're going to do. So let's start out. We have 1.56 grams of BaCl2. Our first conversion is to get to moles of BaCl2. So we're going to put 1 mole of BaCl2 on top, and our molar mass of BaCl2 at the bottom, which is 208.23 grams of BaCl2. Our next conversion, we are going to go from moles of BaCl2 to moles of silver chloride. So remember, this is the one step we are going to use our balanced coefficients from our balanced chemical reaction. So we have two moles of AgCl from our reaction, and we have 1 mole of BaCl2 from our balanced chemical reaction. Finally, we have one more step, one more conversion, and we have to get to grams of silver chloride, or grams of AgCl. So that means we need our molar mass of AgCl on top, which is 143.32 grams of AgCl, and on the bottom we're just getting rid of moles of AgCl. Let's make sure our units cross out. They look like they do, and we are left with grams of AgCl. Cl. So into your calculator, you have 1.56 divided by 208.23 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 143.32, and what you should get is 2.1474 grams of AgCl. We're not going to worry about sig figs quite yet because the question doesn't actually ask for grams of AgCl. It just wants the percentage yield. Okay, so let's write down what we have. We know our actual yield, what we got from our lab, what we got in real life is given to us in the question. So that was 1.64 grams of AgCl. And our theoretical yield is actually what we found using stoichiometry. So our theoretical yield, our calculated answer, is 2.1474 grams of AgCl. So we have all the information we need to calculate percentage yield. Let's go ahead and do that. So percentage yield equals actual yield over theoretical yield multiplied by 100%. And let's just put our values in. So our actual yield was 1.64 grams of AgCl, and our theoretical yield was 2.1474 grams of AgCl. Let's multiply that by 100%, and let's see what we get as our percentage yield. So we have 1.64 divided by 2.1474. Multiply that by 100, and what you should get, let's keep significant figures here, is 76.4%. Okay, so we got 76.4% of the maximum amount of silver chloride in this question. That is the answer. If this video has helped, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.